Extreme weather plagues every part of our planet. More often than not, these events happen with little warning, and there's almost always nothing you can do to stop them. Thanks to CCTV cameras, we can now witness some of the Earth's most incredible moments for ourselves, giving us great insight into the power of our own planet. From a powerful microburst tearing down a gymnasium wall, to a hurricane flooding everything in sight, here are 5 extreme weather moments that were caught on CCTV. 2021 was a year filled with extreme weather. Of all the events that occurred, perhaps one of the most notable was Hurricane Ida. Being a Category 4 storm, it brought with it powerful wind and rain, leading to over $65 billion in damages. This makes Hurricane Ida the 6th costliest tropical cyclone on record. After forming over the ocean in Central America, the hurricane began tracking northwest into the Gulf of Mexico before finally making landfall in Louisiana. As I'm sure you're aware, Louisiana is not a state that handles hurricanes well. Cities such as New Orleans are actually below sea level and are prone to flooding. Close to New Orleans lies the small fishing community of Delacroix. When Hurricane Ida hit, they were one of the first communities to be affected. Security cameras on a local fire station captured each moment as it unfolded. In a matter of just 1 hour, the entire landscape was underwater. These before and after comparisons show how dramatically and quickly Ida changed the landscape. These cameras captured what happened in just the span of 60 minutes and in only one area. Hurricane Ida would then go on to travel further inland, flooding more communities and cities before finally dissipating. But the fun wasn't over yet. Remnants of the storm lingered and caused extreme flooding and tornadic activity as far north as Massachusetts. The flooding was so bad that most of the New York City transportation system had to be completely shut down. Ida was the second most destructive and intense hurricane to ever make landfall in Louisiana. The only storm worse was Hurricane Katrina 16 years prior. Wind speeds of 150 miles per hour were recorded. Oddly enough, Ida hit Louisiana the same day Katrina did, August 29th. Landslides can be a rather devastating force of nature. Like many other natural disasters, they typically come on with little warning, and there's just about nothing you can do to stop them. They have the ability to bury buildings, houses, and anything else in their path. Back in 2019, security cameras in China's Fujian province captured one of these landslides on film. With little warning, the entire hillside came crashing down, pushing parked cars out of its way with ease.
Wow, yeah. Go look, can you get out to you? Go look.
Landslides like this one can be caused by a variety of factors. Land is ultimately held together by friction. Certain kinds of soil, such as clay, stays compact pretty well. Other kinds, like sand, are only loosely joined together. Anything that disrupts this friction can cause a landslide. The most common culprit is water. Water is great at reducing friction between sediment and bedrock. Once water has gotten rid of the friction, gravity does the rest and sends everything downhill into whatever is unlucky enough to be in the way. This is why many landslides typically occur after periods of heavy rain. Thankfully, nobody in this video was injured. A microburst is a localized pillar of sinking air in a thunderstorm. They're usually about 2.5 miles in diameter and can cause serious damage. Back in early 2020, students inside of a gymnasium were caught off guard when a microburst suddenly occurred, blowing down a wall in the process. Within a matter of seconds, the entire wall of the building is blown away. Even though there is no audio, the students could clearly tell something was coming, allowing everyone to evacuate the gym just moments before. Wind speeds in a microburst can get all the way up to 100 miles per hour, sometimes even faster. That's as fast as the wind in a Category EF1 tornado. The microburst in this video is said to have had winds in excess of 85 miles per hour. The principal for the school later told local news agencies that they had very little warning before the storm hit, as is typically the case with microbursts. Despite the damage, there were very few injuries reported from this event, and the wall was soon repaired. The country of Thailand is known for many things, one of them being their landscape. All across the country, you will find sharp, towering mountains and lush greenery. It makes for a great vacation spot, but it is also the perfect recipe for landslides. In Thailand, there are 3 seasons: cool, hot, and rainy. The rainy season typically runs from June to October and can at times be pretty severe. In September of 2021, security cameras were rolling at a COVID-19 field hospital in the northern part of the country when a powerful landslide occurred following a prolonged period of heavy rain. Watch as the mountainside comes crashing down into the hospital, which, thankfully, was mostly empty at the time. From the first camera, you can see that the landslide is so fast and generates so much explosive power that it looks like a bomb going off. The building is easily knocked over, and debris is scattered all over the place. A monk who saw the landslide reported that it was as loud as a jet engine. In the video examining the aftermath, you can see the huge boulders that were thrown into the building by the landslide. Thailand is not the only country that has a landslide problem. Other Southeast Asian countries, such as Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines, are also especially predisposed to landslides. Despite the destruction, nobody was injured in this event. The 2011 tsunami in Japan is without a doubt one of the most devastating natural events to happen on this planet in the last 100 years. It all began with a 9.0 magnitude earthquake many miles offshore. Just over an hour after the quake, the first waves could be observed reaching the Sendai airport. In any video you watch that was recorded this day, you can hear a warning message being broadcast across the country. The warning that was issued was the highest possible on their scale. Various CCTV cameras across the country captured events as they unfolded. But we want to focus on one particular video. Shot on a highway traffic camera, this video gives a glimpse into just how fast the water swept across the land. This tsunami was so powerful that it even reached North and South America, all the way from Alaska to Chile. Although, by that point, its power was greatly reduced. To give you an idea, Chile was hit by 6-foot waves. Parts of Japan were hit with 120-foot waves. The tsunami was far more deadly and destructive than the earthquake that caused it, even though it affected a much smaller area. The biggest factor which led to the extremely high loss of life was the water surge. It was far worse than predicted. Seawalls that some cities had built to protect against tsunamis simply weren't tall enough to stop the water. Due to this false sense of security, many people felt they were out of harm's way. According to a special committee created afterwards in Japan, there was a flaw in the disaster prevention policies. They had been designed to deal with the type of tsunamis that happened in the past. Tsunamis that occurred repeatedly but were much smaller. After this discovery, Japan built even taller walls with the hopes of preventing a future catastrophe of this scale. Mother Nature is a dangerous beast that should not be underestimated. Often, deadly events can strike with little warning and cannot be stopped. If you're lucky enough to receive early warning of a disaster, let these videos be a reminder to not waste time seeking shelter. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more just like it, be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.